It's Jenny at the Orcas Public Library again, and I have a couple more books for you. And I was thinking about, I'm seeing a lot of people that have really big hair, some people that have recently gotten haircuts because they've gone back to school and they look great. Some people don't want to get their hair cut. But there's all kinds of different hairstyles out there, lots of great hair. And I'm going to read a book about hair that's right here on your face. Does anybody know what that's called? Does anybody? I'm hearing it. I think I might be hearing it. Maybe a mustache? A mustache? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. That's the next book we're going to read, and it's called Mustache. And it's written by one of my favorite authors, Mac Barnett, and this one's illustrated by Kevin Cornell. And it is published by Hyperion Books, and we need to thank them for letting me read this in quarantine. Let's open the page and find out. Duncan was a terrible king, but he was terribly handsome. "Don't I look wonderful?" said King Duncan. "Yes, sire," said his royal advisor. He spent every royal day admiring his royal reflection and not doing much else, which is why his kingdom was such a royal mess. Can you see what's wrong with his kingdom? Can you find a couple of things that are not doing so well? Yes, I think you did. King Duncan didn't repair the roads. He built billboards instead. He didn't fix the playground. He put up a statue instead. This kind of stuff made King Duncan's subjects furious. So one day his subjects stormed his castle. "We need roads. We need swings. Do something for us, King Duncan," they shouted. "For you," said the king. "Yes," said a little girl. The king was quiet. "Come back in a week," he said. "Gentle subjects," he said 7 days later, "you have asked me to repair the roads and the playgrounds, and I have done something even better. Behold my gift for you." The crowd went silent. Was that what they were looking for? I don't think so. No. "That's it?" said the little girl. "Yes," said the king. "Oh," the king grinned. The crowd left and the sun set. And the next morning, the king's gift looked like this. Yes, you see it? King Duncan was furious. "I must catch this vandal," he screamed. "Yes, sire," said the royal advisor. "And put him in jail," screamed the king. "Yes, sire," said his advisor. Or her in jail," said the king. So King Duncan had his royal advisor nail posters to every wall in the kingdom, saying, "Wanted, whoever drew a mustache on this terrific banner." King Duncan soaked in his royal hot tub, and he waited for someone to turn in the culprit. "It should be any minute now," said the king. "Yes, sire," said his royal advisor. Can you see anything going on in that picture? Yes. But overnight, something happened. King Duncan was outraged. Look at all of those. He went out for a walk, and he went to the park. This didn't help, so he slouched in his royal throne. "Look at my wonderful face," he said. "Who could be doing this to me?" "I don't know, sire," his royal advisor replied. Except his royal advisor did know. Every night, the old man had been sneaking out of the castle and painting mustaches on pictures of the king. And he wasn't the only one. So had she, and so had she, and so had he, and so had they. In fact, just about the only person who hadn't painted a mustache on a picture of the king was this guy. Never mind. There were mustaches everywhere, and the king was having a hard time dealing with it. One night he lay awake in his royal waterbed. "I know what I'll do," he thought. "I'll trick the culprit into revealing himself." Or herself, he added 5 seconds later. And the next day, he called all his subjects to the royal castle. "My gentle subjects," he said, "you have been playing a joke on me, and I have found this joke hilarious. So if the person who's been drawing mustaches on my picture would just raise his or her hand, we can all laugh and there will be no punishment." Are they raising their hand? Do you see any raising their hand? How many do you see raising their hand? Lots. "You're all going to jail," screamed the king. "All of us?" asked the little girl. "All of you," screamed the king. Oh, but the jail wasn't big enough to hold them. Not even close. So the king made the jail bigger and bigger and bigger until it could hold everybody. And every day the king sat on his royal throne, the only free man in all the land. "We sure showed them," King Duncan said to his reflection. His reflection was silent. His reflection, though handsome, was not very good company. Day after day, the king listened to the sound of laughter nearby, of donkey carts rolling down freshly paved roads, and swings creaking in parks. Things seemed to be going pretty well out there in the jail. Yes. He slumped, and he sighed, and he felt a little alone. Until one morning the king sat up straight, and he got off his royal throne, and he stood in front of his royal mirror, and he reached for his royal paintbrush, and he painted a mustache on his own royal face. It looked pretty good. You think so too? I think so, yes. I also like that he actually was okay about it in the end. And maybe he would make sure they would get swings and roads and all the things they wanted. But I have another book about hair, a different kind of hair. A hair that's a big bunch of hair. And this one is called The Hair of Zoe Fleefenbacher Goes to School. And it's written by Laurie Halse Anderson, and it's illustrated by Arndt Hoyt. Let's try this one. Does any of you have hair that's a bit that way? Sometimes I feel like my hair is a bit that way, but maybe not today. And this is actually published by Simon and Schuster Books for young readers. So thanks to them for letting us read it. Oh goodness, look at that hair. Zoe Fleefenbacher had one blue eye and one green eye and bright red hair that went on forever. Wow. And when Zoe was a baby, she needed 2 strollers and 2 cribs and 2 high chairs, one for Zoe Fleefenbacher and one for Zoe's hair. And when she was 2 years old, Zoe's hair learned how to open the cookie jar. At 3, her hair could turn on the TV, pour a glass of juice, pet the cat, and play on the computer, all at the same time. And at 4, it learned to fly. Mom and Dad Fleefenbacher threw out the brushes and combs. The hair of their Zoe was wild and beautiful. It was her sail, her kite, and her flag. Zoe had Miss Broadhag for kindergarten. Mrs. Broadhag let Zoe's hair pick up the trash, erase the board, and set the table for snack. And at nap time, the hair was a comfort. Zoe had Miss Trisk for first grade. Miss Trisk didn't fool around. "School has rules," she said. "No wild hair in my class." Zoe Fleefenbacher's hair did not listen, and when Miss Trisk wrote on the board, Zoe's hair tickled everyone. Miss Trisk sat Zoe in time out, and Zoe's hair drew all over the walls. Miss Trisk took charge of the situation. "Big mistake. This must stop," shouted Miss Trisk. "School has rules." Miss Trisk demanded a meeting with the principal. Zoe's hair had to wait outside. The grown-ups agreed. School had rules and that hair had to be tamed. Zoe had a ponytail, and it didn't work. Zoe tried braids. No good. Zoe tried scrunchies and barrettes and clips, headbands, rubber bands, bobby pins, and duct tape, all at the same time. The class held its breath, and it worked. The hair stayed under control during spelling. A scrunchie broke during math, but the hair didn't move. 2 barrettes slipped out during snack time, but the hair didn't move. "First grade has rules," Miss Trisk reminded the class, and then she smiled. Who's smiling there? Zoe didn't smile. It felt like all the rules in the world were sitting on top of her head. Miss Trisk started the science lesson. She held up a ball. "This is the sun." She held up another ball. "Mercury orbits the sun." She picked up 3 other balls. "This is Venus and Mars, and here is Earth." She dropped Earth, and the class giggled. First grade has rules, Miss Trisk reminded them. No giggling. Zoe lifted her head off the desk, and a bobby pin fell to the floor. One red strand of hair unfurled. Miss Trisk picked up 2 more balls. Pretend that these are Jupiter and Saturn and that all of the planets are spinning and orbiting around the sun. Bam, bam, bam. Jupiter, Mars, and Venus fell to the floor and rolled into the corner. Ping, ping, ping. Bobby pins rained on the floor around Zoe. Oh my, said Miss Trisk. Snap, snap. Rubber bands and scrunchies bounced off the ceiling. Barrettes and headbands and duct tape rocketed through the air, and the hair of Zoe Fleefenbacher exploded into the classroom. I can help, Zoe hollered. I know how to do it. Whop, whap, pop, whoosh, the class gasped. Zoe's hair was loose. The kids grabbed their crayons and hid their scissors, and Miss Trisk dived for the gerbil's cage. And Zoe smoothed her hair and raised her hand. Please, Miss Trisk, she said. I want to help. Can I try? Miss Trisk nodded. Zoe's hair picked up Mercury, Venus, the Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and the sun. The planets spin, said Miss Trisk. Zoe's hair spun the planets. As they orbit the sun, Zoe's hair twirled the planets along their paths. That day, the first grade students in Miss Trisk's room learned all about the planets. Miss Trisk learned some things too. My goodness, said Miss Trisk. That is some amazing hair. That's helpful hair. That's handy hair. Zoe Fleefenbacher had 1 blue eye and 1 green eye, and handy, helpful, amazing hair that found a place in first grade. Whew, that's pretty amazing hair. I'd like to see someone that had amazing hair like that. That would be pretty great. I hope that you like your hair no matter whether you have a haircut or not, whether you put scrunchies in there and barrettes and all those other things, or maybe none at all. I hope you enjoy just the way that you are, because I like you just the way you are. So we will be back next week with more stories. Just want to let you know that if you do come to our curbside service, we actually have some books out there that you can look at just to see if you want to check them out. But we'll have these books on the shelf again if you're interested in checking them out. And I hope you all have a good day.